Welcome to Just Kick It with Big Bob, where I share my 2 bobs worth with you, whether you like it or not.
Well, we certainly bore witness to the yin and yang of cricket in the recent series versus the Windies, and didn't it bring to mind the heady days of Wesley Hall and Seymour Nurse and all that lot so far back in living memory it doesn't bear dwelling on with more than a fleeting glance. What with Shamar Joseph writing his name in the history books, not to mention Wisden, in no uncertain terms, with a spirited display of pace bowling just short of a good length, top of off, that had the Aussies reeling and rocking onto their back foots or feet with uncharacteristic timidity. And what about the celebration of young Sinclair, worth the price of a ticket alone? Not that the Brisbaneites bothered to turn up for the last day of the most exciting test match finish in living memory for anyone between the ages of 0 to 50 years in the old money. They stayed away in their droves, a pathetic turn that furthers the case for the Adelaide Test to be elevated to the status it deserves, because the South Aussies vote with their feet, turn up, rail, hain or shine, fork out their hard-earned and plonk their bums on seats at the scenic Adelaide Oval with its ironic scoreboard and magnificent views across the Adelaide Hills, not to mention the cathedral and the picnic-like atmosphere so steeped in history as it is. Having said that, and at the risk of repeating myself again, the well-known fact of the matter is that sometimes to move forward you often need to go backwards, to the days when the Adelaide Test was held on the alleged Australia Day long weekend, and Freddie Truman would wave the white hanky on bended knee in mock surrender as the 21-gun salute boomed its way across King William Road from the Torrens Parade Ground, and don't tell me it didn't happen. And if I may be so bold as to discuss the lack of friction between the bails of today and the stump groove that saw Carey the beneficiary and allowed the Aussies to get as close as they did, as the left bail did a couple of revs and failed to topple off, when will they get the scientific geometrics right and emulsify the variables so that this intolerable farcical situation is no longer allowed to crop up from time to time at vital junctures of the game? A disgracious blight on the integrity of the game of cricket, and there's no other way to describe it. Another case of the Emperor's New Clothes syndrome, that no one has the gumption to put their money on the line and call it out for what it is. A pathetic attempt to get more viewers by having the bails light up like, well, I don't know what. I ask you, the king may wear a golden crown, but does it keep out the rain? But getting back to Shamar Joseph, surely the best thing to happen to Test cricket since sliced bread was introduced to the luncheon buffet and saved so much time for the players during the lunch break. Ham, lettuce and curried egg. That was my preferred combination, as you well know, Wally. He was brought up bowling mango. This is Shamar, that is. He was brought up bowling mangoes in the jungles of Guyana. Never seen a kookaburra ball till a month ago, never worn pads or a protector, never heard of Gary Sobers. But the boy's a star in the making, and he's got more than one string to his bow, and it's the likes of him who will future-proof the game, and not the marinations of the shiny-panted boffins and other so-called luminaries pontificating from the corporate boxes as they scoff their pineapple donuts. He was up for the challenge, and he accepted it in no uncertain terms with both hands, and wasn't it good to see that 2-man catch in the slips, a unique feature of the game that has stood the test of time. And as for Head and his pair of golden ducks, a king pair no less, in the long term, that will be the making of him. You mark my words. It's like the time in Taswegia, Wally and I. We had to live off raw whale blubber for 3 months. Never again. Under no circumstances will I go through that again. Same goes for Head and Wally. He's nodding his head very vigorously. Careful it doesn't fall off, Wally. Now it's time for us to knock off. Another hot day in the trenches. Thirsty weather indeed. My throat's as dry as a pharaoh's sock, so get down to the bar, Wally, and line up a couple of cold ones. Until next time, you're gonna need an ocean of calamine lotion when poison ivy comes a-creeping. You've been hearing and feeling Big Bob with my 2 bobs worth, whether you like it or not. Yabba dabba doo.